Hello, Sevilla Morgan here. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to today's show. Before we get started, I would like to thank my sponsors and my supporters. A great big thank you to Morgan Air Conditioning, sales, service, and installation, proudly serving Tampa, Florida, and the surrounding areas. For assistance with your air conditioning needs, call Morgan Air at 813-500-7765. That's 813-500-7765. Thank you so much, Morgan Air, for seeing the vision and being a part of it. It is appreciated. Next, I would like to thank Alba Digital Media, audio production, web hosting, and web design. Alba Digital Media created my website and they produce my podcast. Visit Alba Digital Media at www.albadigitalmedia.com for assistance with media and production needs. That's www.albadigitalmedia.com. Thank you so much for Alba Digital Media for making me look good and sound good. I would also like to thank the owner of Edinburgh Dusters for assisting me with quality graphic assistance for my website and other social media content. It is greatly appreciated. Finally, I would like to thank the musical duo Devoted for creating my theme music. Contact Devoted at devotedministries@gmail.com for your music needs. That's devotedministries@gmail.com. Thank you so much, Devoted, for the beautiful music. I absolutely love it, and I'm sure the listeners do as well. Thank you for all your great work. If you would like information on becoming a one-time or ongoing sponsor, feel free to contact me at sevilla@sevillamorgan.com. That's sevilla@sevillamorgan.com. And for more information on my sponsors and supporters, go to my website, www.childlessnotbychoice.net. That's www.childlessnotbychoice.net. Scroll down to the very bottom and you will see the links to my sponsors and supporters. Thanks again for listening, and now on to the show. Hi everybody, hello there, Sevilla Morgan here. Welcome back to another episode of 21st Century Hannah, where my mission is to recognize and speak to the broken hearts of childless women around the world. I am spreading the great news that we can live a joyful and relevant life, regardless of the fact that we could not have children. So thank you very much for allowing me to sit with you again for just a little while. Before we start on today's show, should I tell you what the topic is? I'll give you a hint. I love top 10 lists. I absolutely love anything having to do with top 10. I want to know what the top 10 of anything are. But this is slightly different. We'll get into that in just a minute. What I wanted to do first, though, is just to read a couple of iTunes reviews to you. And I'm so excited. I love reviews. I always say how much I love mail. Well, I feel like reviews are mail. And I love good mail, not the bills. You can keep the bills. But I love mail and I love iTunes reviews. Hint, hint, hint. So the first one that I have here, it says, wow, what a powerful podcast. And I was given a 5-star rating by this reviewer. John P. at Please Finish Your Book left me a review. He said, Sevilla, thank you for this podcast. I know several women who are childless not by choice, and this podcast sheds light on their journeys by highlighting issues that I haven't had the courage to ask them. Thank you, Sevilla. So I'm kind of getting that lately from a couple of different people. I guess people are curious, but how do you bring up the subject? Why would you bring up the subject? And but people are still curious. So apparently 21st Century Hannah kind of gives people a bird's eye view into the life and times of a childless, not by choice woman or man. And that's exactly what I want. Well, I call it creating awareness. I want to create awareness. And so creating awareness means that I will at times probably assuage some people's curiosity. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with being curious. I think we should be more curious about our brothers and sisters, whether locally or around the world, because sometimes that means that our curiosity may help that person. And I believe that we are indeed our brother's keeper and our sister's keeper. So I applaud the curiosity. So thanks for that great review, John P. at Please Finish Your Book. And another review that I have here is by Adrian at Let's Explore. Adrian is actually a podcaster, and his podcast, Let's Explore, um, he speaks to millennials, and the topic is around issues around millennials, the life and times of millennials. But he stopped by to leave me a review as well. And he says, into a difficult topic, Sevilla does a great job gaining clarity with something that is so common in today's society. Thank you for sharing this message. And another review that I got, this was actually a message from Facebook. This was a woman that messaged me on, well, I guess Facebook Messenger. And she said, in part, I love your show. I've downloaded all the available podcasts from iTunes to listen to them to and from work. Has been a blessing to listen to your words and guests, and have just found a local group here in Canberra. Canberra too, she says. And that's Elaine S. from Canberra, Australia. And so that message really made my day. All of the reviews, any messages I get, they make my day. But I think what was different about this one, we had an ongoing conversation. So I just asked her if I could use a portion of the conversation as a review, and to post it on my website. So it's on the homepage of my website, the portion that I posted. That, I think what made the difference here for me was that she said, and have just found a local group here in Canberra too. And another thing that she said that I didn't put in on the website was that she mentioned that listening to the episodes helped her to face her childlessness, to face it down, and just handle it. And finding a local group in her area, to me, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get women to face their childless not by choice women, to face their childlessness, and to go and speak to other women who are in the same boat. Like this lady, she found a group in her area. That really made my day. That tells me that she is beginning the healing process, and she realizes she's not an island, and she realizes that there are other women in her area, not just around the world, not just like me on the other side of the planet, but right in her area, that are going through the same things, issues, thoughts, feelings, and now she has some outlet, and that can only enhance her life. And that really made my day. I don't know if she realizes how much that made my day, but it really and truly made my day. So, way to go, Elaine. And everybody else who's finding value in this group, whether you're childless not by choice or not. I read another conversation in one of my Facebook groups where two women listened to my episode on shame, because one of them said that she had sworn she was not going to upload or listen to any more podcasts. She had such a list to listen to, but the review that yet another gentleman gave, it just piqued her interest, and so they're going back and forth on our Facebook group about how the episode on shame just really opened their eyes, and I'm like, this is awesome. This is awesome because this is creating aware. As I said before, it's creating awareness to people, for people who have no idea about the childless not by choice experience, and probably always wondered, what was going on. Like I said in my episode on shame, I'm sure that in my younger years, when my friends and family members were having children, they were probably wondering, oh, I wonder what's going on with Sevilla. And now you run into these people who know people, and they're like, I wonder what's going on with so and so. And now they get a bird's eye view by listening to this podcast, 21st Century Hannah. Can you tell I'm really excited? I am just so excited that there are people that are getting healed. They're able to move on with their lives. And then there are others who are getting answers, and now they can now have intelligent conversations with people that they may have been afraid to speak to before. So yes, I am like totally sounding like a valley girl right now, but like totally excited. And this is what I like to hear. Send me the reviews. Tell me how this podcast is helping you, whether you're childless not by choice or not. Tell me how 21st Century Hannah is helping, and please be sure to, of course, share the podcast with your friends and family, especially those who may be suffering in silence and living in plain sight and childless not by choice. Which leads to this week's episode. 10 things a childless not by choice woman will never do. And notice I didn't say the top 10 things. Although I love top 10 lists, I don't think that this is a top 10 things, list of things. It's just a list. And I chose 10 things. But it's by no means an exhaustive list. I'm sure there are things I didn't even think of. And if you think of something, let me know. And I'll do another episode and compile a list based on input. But these are the things that I came up with. So tell me what you think as I go through the list. I can't memorize all this stuff, so I'm reading notes. I know usually you don't hear me reading notes, but in this case, I am going to read notes. My memory is not that good. So, 10 things a childless, not by choice woman will never do. A childless, not by choice woman will never go through the quote unquote dreaded labor her sisters with children will go through and complain about it. But she is just as strong as her sisters with children. And I know that I'm not trying to step on any toes. I'm not trying to make anybody feel guilty. I'm sure that pain is never good, no matter what kind of pain it is. But keep in mind, there are some women who will never dread labor pains. That's number 10. Number 9. A childless, not by choice woman will never watch her baby make a face when he or she tastes a food for the first time. I remember when my oldest nephew was just, I don't know, a few months old, maybe a year or something, and they were visiting, and his mom gave him a piece of fruit. I cannot remember what the piece of fruit was, if it was an orange or a peach or something. I don't remember what it was, but I will never forget the look on his face when he tasted the fruit. It was just, and even at that time, I had no idea. I had no idea I would never have kids. I was just enjoying my nephew and just watching his face. We all laughed when he made the face that he did when he tasted the fruit. The face was like, a cross between what is this and it's sour and it's strange and what is this? If you can picture his face. But it was just amazing. We all laughed and it was just, I don't know, something to me. I don't know if anybody else in the room saw that or even if his mom recognized it, but to me, I had just witnessed a human being taste something, a piece of food or fruit for the first time and just watch the reaction. And I don't know, it just touched me a certain way. It was just beautiful. And so that's number nine. Number eight, a childless, not by choice woman will never watch her baby walk for the first time. We've all seen those commercials on TV, or if we have nieces and nephews, we've seen them take their first steps, whether in person or a video was posted on social media or message to us, and we can see that person just taking those sometimes hesitant steps and just watching them, especially if they're little bow-legged little babies, just taking those steps and looking at just again another first-time experience, and just it's just amazing to watch another human just go through first-time experiences, especially when it's a baby, a toddler or whatever they're doing for the first time. Even older kids, 7, 8, 9, 10, when they first realize something that we've known forever, but they figured it out for the first time. It's just, you just get a little chuckle. It's the same thing, I think. So that's number eight. Number seven, a childless, not by choice woman will never stay up all night with a colicky baby, but she will choose not to stay up all night grieving that fact. So, yeah, yes, I know that there are a lot of women who have had colicky babies. I know that they just cry and cry and cry and cry. And honestly, I cannot imagine. I can't imagine the crying all night of a baby. I would be like beside myself, trying to figure out what to do. I probably would even go to the ER, to be honest. So I don't know, but I know it's got to be a little stressful on the mother as well as the baby. But yet, it is still one of the 10 things that we will never do. We'll never experience that unless we have to end up taking care of a child or something like that. But bottom line, we'll never stay up all night with a colicky baby, but we will choose not to stay up all night grieving about that fact. And I always talk about that. It's choice. It's a matter of choice how we as childless, not by choice women deal with our lives, how we deal with the fact that we did not get to have the children. So that's number seven. Number six, a childless, not by choice woman will never stare into a crib in awe and wonder at a being she co created, but she will pray for her nieces and nephews as they make their way into the world. Again, choice. Yes, we would have loved to be able to create this little human and watch that human breathing, make sure he or she is breathing as we stare into the crib, especially if it's the first one, just in awe of the whole thing. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen for us. We have nieces and nephews. We may have other young children in our family. And I would really, really ask you, especially in this day and age with so many crazy things going on. I was just watching the news, and school, where I am now, school just started maybe a week ago. And already two kids have reported being harassed and attempted snatchings of children. And I mean, we have got to pray over the little people in our lives. We have no excuse. We didn't have the children of our own, but we have to pray over the little people that we know, that we're in contact with, that we love, that pray over them to be safe on a daily basis. Pray over them on a daily basis. So we have no excuses. It's a choice. So that was number six. Number five, a childless, not by choice woman will never get to correct a toddler who told her no. Shake her head at a teenager who thinks he or she knows it all, or feel the sting of disappointment from a child who made a bad decision. But she will avail herself or make herself available to lend an ear to her sister or brother for those moments. So sometimes your sister or your brother will call and just tell you, listen to what your niece or nephew did now. And so lend an ear. Lend an ear. If they ask for input, give input and just help, you know. Some people believe it takes a village, and I believe so. It's tougher these days because, you know, people are afraid. They don't want the wrong person influencing their children's lives, and there are so many crazy things going on. Of course, you have to be careful about who's around your children and all of that. But, you know, as an aunt or an uncle who loves your nieces and nephews, you want them to do well. You want to see them do well in life as well. So lend an ear to your brother or sister when they, talk to you about what your niece or nephew has done. And if you have built that relationship with that niece or nephew, then you can even talk to them. They'll listen. Trust me. They will listen, but you have to have built that relationship with them. And it's never too late. It may be different if you started later, but it's never too late. The more people that love this person, I think the better they will be in life and the further they will go. So that's number 5. Number 4, a childless, not by choice woman will never feel the pride of watching her child graduate kindergarten, middle school, high school, even college. But she will feel the pride in knowing she was there to help get them to that moment. Just like I said for step number 5, be there. Be there for your brother or sister. Be there for your nieces and nephews. Be a part of the family, and hopefully they will allow you to. You know, hopefully your family is of such that you are a village and you are watching out for your nieces and nephews, and just being available to help when you can, whenever your sisters and brothers need help with the kids, maybe when they're younger. And even as they get older, you know, maybe they need a ride to practice or something. Be available. Yes, you have your own life. Yes, you have things going on, but it would be great if they know that, you know, mom or dad are working late, and let me check in with Aunt Susie and see if she can pick me up, you know? That would make you feel so good to know that you are contributing to the life of the next, a life in the next generation. So be there, be available, be present. And that was number 4. So step number 3, a childless, not by choice woman will never feel comfortable sitting with a group of women who are chatting about their children, no matter how she may seem on the outside. But she will continue to become strong enough to do it if she must. So that's a mouthful, actually, but hey, it's what came to my mind. And you know, I'm speaking from experience. Yes, especially if the children are your nieces and nephews, no problem listening to what's going on with them. Maybe you are at another event though, and maybe you are with women you don't know so well. And all of a sudden, well, not all of a sudden, happens every time, they start talking about their children, what's going on with school, outgrowing clothes and shoes, next grade, what are their grades like? You know, the things that mothers talk about. And of course you want mothers to brag on their kids and to care for the welfare of their children. I mean, it's their children. So of course you would expect them to talk about them, but it's not comfortable when you really may not have much to say or not be able to say the same things. You can't say, "Oh well, my son," or "Oh well, my daughter," because you don't have any kids. And so you may talk about your nieces and nephews, or your friends, or your goddaughter or godson or whatever, but you know it's not the same. It's not the same unless you are actually raising that person. And that's not to make anyone feel badly, but we know deep down it's not the same, and they know as well. And the nicer people will just leave it alone and not say anything. And you hope that that's the group you're sitting with is the nicer group, because at the end of the day, everybody just wants the children in their lives to be well. And so, I don't know. I don't think that there will ever be 100% comfort with sitting as a childless, not by choice woman with a group of women who are just chatting incessantly about their kids. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong. Hey, tell me if I'm wrong. Send me a message, talk to me, communicate what you feel. I won't get mad, I promise. I know that everybody has an opinion, and I can seriously bear that out by even just looking. Sometimes I marvel at my Facebook group, the people that are on there that believe so many different things, and some are so diametrically opposed to my beliefs, but everybody has an opinion. You can't be around people who only have your opinion. You're not going to grow like that, and you're not going to get stronger like that either. So, if you don't agree with any of these, or like I said, if you want to add to it, let me know. I can create another episode out of that. Not a problem. But I really don't feel that there would be 100% comfort sitting in that group. But I believe that adversity strengthens us. And being childless not by choice is adversity. And we will be strengthened through it if we choose that. We have to choose. Bottom line, as I always say, it's about choice. And so number two, a childless not by choice woman will always have a little empty space in her heart, but she will be sure to fill that space with peace, joy, love, and relevance. I mean, do I really need to add to that? I don't think so, but I will. It's choice. Again, choice, 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 choice. It's all about choice and choosing. Every day we have to make choices. Every day we have to decide one cup of coffee or two. We have to decide which route to take to work, or route, as we say in New England, to take to work. Which call do I make or take? It's all about choice. Every day we make choices. Why can't we make choices about the bigger things in life too? Why can't we choose peace and joy and love and relevance over bitterness and envy and jealousy and hate because our lives didn't go the way we expected? It's all about choice. And I'm telling you, those positive feelings, the peace, the joy, the love, and the relevance, you're going to feel much lighter on your feet than the heaviness of the hatred and the jealousy and the envy. Those things weigh you down. They weigh you down internally and externally. And as I've said before, I do not want to look the part. I don't want to look bitter and jealous and hateful and envious. No, thank you. It's about choice. Do I have my moments where I just wonder, what happened? Why me? We all have that. Why me? We all want to know, God, why me? A million people are asking God, why me? Or what, a million, billions of people are asking God, why me? So when you're asking him why me, remember you're not the only one asking why me. Life happens, and we just have to make the choice as to how we will deal with it. What are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about the things we can't do anything about? That's the bottom line. So choose the good stuff and not the bad stuff. Bottom line, basically, just choose the good and not the bad. And even on the days when things aren't, when you just aren't feeling all that wonderful, you know deep down that you made the choice. And I just realized as I was saying that so many of us ask God, why me? I've come to the realization that I don't ask that anymore. I don't ask that anymore. Uh, why bother? because it's not going to change anything. But yeah, I have another episode where I will talk about some changes that I've been going through, even as this podcast has has been out since what, a little over a year now. I have actually been through some changes myself for the better. And so I will share that with you on a future episode. But, we have to choose. We have to choose. So I guess the point I'm making is that I guess this podcast is helping me just as much as it's helping everybody else. That's a good thing. And finally, number one, drum roll, please. A childless, not by choice woman has a choice to make. Live a life of bitterness and sadness, or choose to do the best with the cards that you have been dealt. I know you can do it. And that's basically what I was saying in step number two. Why do I keep calling them steps? Point number two. Point number one is pretty much what I said in point number two. We have a choice to make. We can choose. We get to choose. We're sentient beings. We we have a will, and we can will to choose to live a life of relevance instead of a life of bitterness and sadness. And I really hope that you'll choose the relevance and the love and the peace and the joy. And like this wonderful lady in Canberra, Australia, who found a group near her, I hope that you will choose to do that as well. Choose to find a group near you of women who've been through the same thing, and talk. That's what we as women like to do. We like to communicate. We like to find people who have the same experiences and sit down and talk. That's what we do. And I think that's a wonderful thing, because talking gets a lot of the stress and negativity and feelings that you've probably carried for so many years. Just gets it off of your chest, and just, you're like, why didn't I do this before? I bet you that's what she's feeling. Why didn't I do this before? And so, I really would ask you, if you are childless not by choice, we all have different timings for everything. We're all on different levels. Some of us are just finding out we're not going to have any kids. Some of us have known for many years. I spoke to another woman today who said she had a friend who was now in her 50s, but the friend still, she still feels sadness when she sees families or babies or children, and she's in her 50s. That's why I always say I don't believe that it completely goes away. But how you deal with it, how you handle it, is what's going to make the difference in your life. And so I would say try to find a group nearby. I have a meetup here in Central Florida. It's called the Central Florida Childless Not by Choice group, or meetup group. And it's available for anyone who wants to join me. I'm still trying to find out where everybody wants to meet, well, I won't mention towns in Central Florida. It won't make any sense to some of you since you're in other countries, but know that I have a Central Florida Childless Not by Choice meetup group available. And for those of you that are in other countries, I have a private group on Facebook. Just message me on Facebook and I can add you to the private group. You have to be childless not by choice. That's it. If you have children and you still want to be a part of the group to know what's going on and everything, I have a group called Podcaster for the Childless Not by Choice community, and anyone can join that group. But and then I also have a closed group called Childless Not by Choice, and that one is also, you also have to be childless not by choice. So the childless not by choice and the other group, the private group, those two groups you have to be childless not by choice to join. Podcaster for the childless not by choice community, anyone can join. I also have Facebook pages, 21st Century Hannah and Books by Civilla Morgan. Those are pages that anyone can click like on, and you'll get updates about what's going on in the community. And of course, when you go to my website, www.childlessnotbychoice.net, and you subscribe to get my free monthly newsletter, that's another way to connect with the community. And then, as I said before, I have some things coming up. Some of them are going to be free. Some are going to be paid, but they're going to be like little classes and tutorials. And at the end of these classes and tutorials, you will feel better about yourself, and you will feel better about your quote unquote situation. And that's my goal. So those are coming soon. I will keep you updated. But in the meantime, visit me at www.childlessnotbychoice.net to listen to any episode. All of my episodes are there. You can there's a tab that tells you why Hannah, why I chose the name Hannah, the story of Hannah, and of course there's a page that tells you all about me, and just explore, visit and explore. And on every page of the website, there's a speak pipe icon to the right. You just click on it, and you can leave me a message of up to 90 seconds. So, any of those ways to get in contact with me, I am available. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. I'm available on social media. If you want to email me at Sevilla@sevillamorgan.com. That's Sevilla@sevillamorgan.com. And last but definitely not least, I am always looking for iTunes reviews. So leave me an iTunes review, and I'll give you a shout out. Unless you say, don't give me a shout out, I will give you a shout out. So I really hope that this list has been encouraging. I didn't mean for it to be negative. That wasn't the whole point of this thing. It's just, again, another eye opener type episode for those who are not childless, not by choice. Sometimes we take things for granted until somebody points out that, I never thought about that. And that's what this whole podcast is about. It's creating awareness, and it's creating support, and it's my life's mission. I am not going anywhere. I will do this until I can't talk anymore. That is my mission. And so just know that. Please share the episodes with your friends. Tell me, give me any reviews. And until next time, thanks so much for listening. Thanks for coming back. Thank you to my repeat listeners. You guys are awesome. And can't wait to talk to you again. In the meantime, have a great one. Bye.